Hello and welcome to the show. Once again, we have a fabulous lineup of guests to energize and inspire you.
It's time to wake up your wow with your host, international award-winning speaker, Cath Vincent.
On the show tonight, we hear from actor and improv man Greg Ward on what it takes to be a great MC. Colour expert Thelma van der Werf translates the language of colour and explains how changing the colour of your clothes can change the complexion of your life. Dr. Mike Ashby tells us how getting rid of customers may be the key to a more successful business. And in the Wild Records recording slot with Jesse Wild, we hear music from singer-songwriter Jasper Hawkins. All this and more to wake up your wow. Greg, welcome. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you, nice to be here.
You've been entertaining everybody in the break. Now listen, you have one of those faces that everybody thinks they know. Where do we know you from?
Well, I've had the pleasure of doing a number of things on television.
Yeah.
Probably the most well-known one would be my 2 years I spent doing Spartacus.
That would have been fun. I think we have a shot actually. Let's see, have we got a shot of Greg?
Yeah, well, but you can see how much they relished having me on the show.
That could be anybody.
I know.
That is you.
I know, that's definitely me.
That is you.
It's me. I mean, having my face obscured was something I wasn't particularly happy about, but I had a colleague who said, no, Greg, you've got to look at it in a different way. He says, you've got to say, Greg Ward plays Mercato, the man behind the sword.
Yeah, love it, love it. We have got a proper one. Let's see one next to John Hannah. There he is.
Yeah, there
Fabulous,
we go.
fabulous. Now listen, apart from all this exciting stuff that you've done on TV, you also have a job that most people would hate, which is?
Well, I work as a professional MC, one of a very small handful of MCs in New Zealand who do this for a full-time living, and I love what I do. Yeah. Absolutely love it.
You see, most people would be like, oh no, I've been asked to MC a wedding or something like that. What kind of tips could you give for somebody who is nervous about doing it and they're trying to learn from the professionals?
Well, the majority of people, when they are asked to be an MC, immediately put it on themselves, and that they have to be funny. They've got to come up with jokes. They've got to be the centre of attention. For something like a wedding, or well, for any place where you need an MC, it's never about the MC. It's about making the event or the people that you're working with the stars. And when you turn that focus around and put it externally, things become a heck of a lot easier for you.
Yeah, okay. And how long have you been MCing?
15 years I've been doing this professionally.
And how did you get into it?
Well, I was employed to do some roustabout entertainment at Sky City. I've come from a background of being a performer and actor. Yeah. And I did this role, and the person who'd hired me said, you might be quite good at being an MC. Yeah. And I said, what's an MC? Yeah. So she said, well, come with us and we'll show you. And I ended up working with Sky City for around about 5 years, contracting to them every Friday and Saturday night, Wednesday nights, ended up running promotions on the gaming floor. And the role was to introduce bands, take bands off, tell people what was going on. And I made a pact with myself that I would have something new to say every single night that I went out. And it might be only 4 words or a line, but it was something that I could add and feel comfortable in front of an audience. Yeah. And that process enabled me to be able to stand up in front of any audience and talk. Yeah.
It's one of those things that is kind of a hidden skill set, isn't there?
There is. An MC is a fireman, a politician, psychologist, timekeeper, so many different aspects that you have to have available to you depending on the circumstances. Yeah. I love the variety of that job and the fact that there's a great deal of versatility that goes into it.
So how do you get good at it?
Practice. Yeah. Like anything, if you want to be good at something, you have to do it. If you want to write, you must write. If you want to dance, you've got to dance. And if you want to be a good MC, then you have to be an MC. You've got to get up and do the job.
Yeah, I suppose for most people, if they are asked to do it once, they only get to do it once.
Yeah, that's the challenge that comes in. And that's where I think getting good advice and taking every opportunity you can to learn about being an MC is really important if you are being placed in those positions.
Yeah, and you've done a lot of improv and that kind of thing. How has that helped you?
Hugely. Improvisation is all about being able to stand up and deliver. And often when you're feeling very uncomfortable about the situation, by training in improvisation, you're setting yourself up in a position before you have to go out and do it for real.
Right.
When you stand up on a stage, those skills of improvisation come back to you.
Right.
Very, very worthwhile set of skills to have.
And how many gigs are you doing a year? You're all over the place, aren't you?
I am. I have the pleasure of working here in New Zealand, Australia, and the last few years it's been global. So I've had some great jobs up in Europe and South America, Asia as well. I'm averaging around about 85 events a year, and that could be anything from a single night awards event or a hoax presentation, which is another aspect of my business, or it might be a 3-day conference.
So tell us about a hoax presentation.
Well,
You had a cheeky little smile when you said a hoax presentation. Ho, ho, ho.
I started doing hoaxes around about 3 years ago, professionally. This is where I turn up as a character, and the general character I use is a German, and I will take on the guise of an expert in the field of whichever client I'm working for, but from a European perspective.
Right.
And then I'll come in, I'll do anything from a 25-minute to 45-minute keynote, and it slowly goes awry and off the track as the case goes on.
So you turn up at a conference,
Yeah.
you do a very kind of credible, authoritative keynote in a
Correct.
German accent, and it's all nonsense.
Funny enough, it's not all nonsense. The information's in there. Any technical information relating to the industry that I'm working for or the group I'm working for is absolutely accurate.
Wow.
And it has to be accurate. Takes me roughly a week of time, spaced out over a number of weeks, to do the research for each of these.
Wow.
But the character itself, or himself, has a lot of foibles, and they come to the fore. So you're mixing the real information with the elements of this character and his personal life.
And does this character have a name?
He changes for every single event.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that we are so internet connected now that it's very
You get
easy
busted.
to jump on there and
So
do
can
a
you
name.
can you give us a burst of one of your characters?
I can. So this, we call him Gerhard Schlimmer. And this would be, very good afternoon, my name is Gerhard, and I'm from the Ministry of Federal Affairs in Germany, and I'm here with you today to talk to you around about the issues of transformational change. For it is very important that we change, sometimes within ourselves and also externally, and sometimes it is not easy to change. People run from change, and some people embrace it, and some people
hilarious.
embrace it more than others.
He looks completely different, doesn't it? I'm looking at him going, that's brilliant. And then how do people take it when you kind of go, surprise?
Uniformly, it's thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
Over the course of the length of that presentation, I will have given enough key points away that the majority of the people in the audience will have already twigged that this is a not particularly kosher example of a presentation. But if you do get to the end, then you do have people who will come up with a kind of look on their face to say, you got me. But it's all in very good fun.
Well, it sounds like your job is a lot of fun.
It is. I do believe I have the best job in the world.
Yeah, well, hey, it sounds amazing, and keep doing it because you do a great job. Greg Ward, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Kat.
Next up, colour interpreter Thelma van der Werf on what you're communicating through the colours you wear. Thelma, welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, now you are an interpreter of the language of colour.
Yes.
Now explain to me how colour is a language.
Well, color is actually vibration, or it's an energy, and behind every color is an emotion and a message. And I just interpret the color choices people make into what it says about them.
Wow. Now notice straight away you're wearing this beautiful yellow.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, yellow is a happy color.
Yeah.
It's also one of the least worn colors because you really get noticed when you use yellow, and a lot of people don't like that, don't want to stand out. That's why you have yellow traffic signs, you know, and yellow school buses in the States, because you really pay attention.
Yeah. Now, it used to be really fashionable to have your colours done, to go to, a personal stylist or something. But this is way more than that, isn't it?
Yeah, the colours done as like image consultants, they use what looks good on you. Match your skin tone and your hair color. And this is more looking good, about the image consultant. What I do is, how do you feel? How can a color make you feel? And what message are you communicating?
Yeah, interesting. Now I've got to ask you, what does this colour say about me?
Something
good. Say something good.
Yeah, I'll say something good. There are no good and no bad colors.
Right.
It's just what you're wearing at the moment. It's like a picture. It shows how you're feeling or how you want to present yourself at that certain time. I think it's more coral color what you're wearing, and that's the feminine side of the color red. So it's saying that you're quite energized, you're motivated, you feel good about what you're doing, and you love your job.
Oh, cool. I thought you were going to say something. You're like, whoa.
No.
So sometimes, we're wearing bright colours and we obviously feel good, but sometimes we would choose darker colours if we don't feel so good?
Yes, you can see that often happening to teenagers. They will go through a phase where they prefer to wear black. And that is okay, because as a teenager, you don't want to stand out too much. Black is a color that makes you blend in, and you'll be accepted by the group.
Yeah.
It also is quite strong color in the sense it shows that like strength. However, it will not reveal any emotions. And for me, the teenager is saying, okay, I don't want any interference from parents or teachers. Just let me be, myself and sort it out, and that is okay. However, if it goes on too long, I would really encourage a teenager to get out of it, because the black is also one of the few colors that really can hinder growth or potential. It's like if you put a plant into a black cupboard, it will wither away. Right. We need all colors.
So if your teenager is wearing black year after year?
I would really encourage parents then to introduce something else, another color. Yeah.
I'm literally looking around at every colour now going, what does this mean?
Yes.
So what does, for example, what does orange mean?
Orange is a very happy color. People who love orange, they are often very social people. They like to share their knowledge or whatever they have. They work best by doing things. They are very outgoing, and they love to be outdoors. Often they love to be doing adventurous sports like mountain biking or climbing, or just being outdoors.
And so how can people put this to good use to affect their work or their play or the results that they're getting?
If you are aware of what colors you are attracted to, you will get insight into your talents and your strengths. And the colors you really dislike, they tell something about your challenges. And by introducing a certain color that you really dislike, you are overcoming your emotional block.
And so you put quite a lot of this intelligence into online and physical copy books.
Yes, because I really would like everyone to learn the language of color. So that's why I've written several books about it. One is, why are you wearing those colors?
Yeah.
Why are we attracted to some colors, and what it says about your personality. And also, Dress to Impress is more a color dictionary. What impression would you like to give? Which color will help you to give that impression?
So, for example, you could say, "Oh, look, I'm going for an interview. What color should I wear?"
Yeah, it depends a little bit what you want to portray and what kind of job.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're going for as a funeral director or as an outdoor,
yellow.
It just okay, and that is why it's a color dictionary. You decide what would you like to portray.
Suppose someone you know only wears black and white. What would you say to him? No one we know. No one we know.
I know. Again, there are no good and no bad colors, but color is like a nutrient. And it's the same like if I only eat potatoes and carrots for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'm missing out on some other nutrients.
Oh, I love that. Colour's like a nutrient.
Yes, it is, because we
Interesting.
need all colours. We need sun, we need light.
So if you were going to, suppose somebody is kind of now thinking, oh, okay, maybe I'll rethink what I choose, or at least be aware of it. What tips would you give us going forward about the colours we choose?
Get one of the books or do the online course,
Yeah.
because that is my goal is to teach everyone, to learn, to understand and speak this language of color, because it's everywhere and it's universal.
And give me an example of colours that you would choose for certain situations yourself.
Okay, I have 2 sons, and when they were still in high school, I used to have to go to parent-teaching meetings, and they were not the best students.
Oh, really?
So I would then wear something soft pink because it diverts aggression or a confrontation.
Yeah.
So I would be there, very lovely parents, and just wearing like, okay, don't shoot me, just be nice and
I always
gentle.
wear red to mine.
Yeah, okay. Well, that could have another effect, yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Thelma, thank you so much for being with us today. I know I'm going to look more closely when I choose what I wear in the morning.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, cool. Next up, business coach Dr. Mike Ashby with advice on creating tomorrow's business today. Dr. Mike, how exciting that you're here.
Thank you.
Now listen, you help SMEs, small, medium-sized businesses to succeed, but where have you come from?
Well, I suppose I've got the kind of background that's equipped me to do that, to work with owners of small businesses. I've worked in corporate, I was a partner in an international consulting firm running the strategy team, and then I've worked at a couple of years in a very senior role at Southern Cross. I think what I've learnt the most about is really just spending the last 11, nearly 12 years doing this, working at it, practicing. And a lot of it has been about running my own business in the course of that.
Yeah.
So in a way, I'm, like many researchers, I'm the subject of my own inquiry. Yeah. And some of the things that business owners go through are the very things that I've been through.
Yeah.
Either in large corporate, smaller business, or in between.
So what are the biggest mistakes that you see small companies making?
I think the biggest mistake is probably that they don't understand the importance of business development.
Right.
And business development I use in the context of both developing their market and developing their marketing, which is the kind of usual way we think about business development. Mm-hmm. But I have another meaning to it as well, which is developing the capability of the business.
Right.
And when I talk about business development, it's really about how you create tomorrow's business. And the biggest mistake that business owners make is that they are so involved in running today's business that they don't allow the time and the energy and the resource to create tomorrow's business. So they're busy doing today's job instead of working on tomorrow's business. And what we help them do is step away from that.
And so how do you create that time? I can imagine a bunch of people saying, oh, I haven't got time to think about tomorrow today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So part of it is just about creating that time. There's only one way to get the time to do these things, and that's to make time. Carve out some space, carve out some time, especially in your head, to think about what tomorrow's business might look like. Do your job, do it well, get it done, but have this time that you create and the space that you create. And the only way to do that is to let go.
Yeah.
The only way to create that time and space is to let go of some of the stuff that you currently do, and your people then have to let go of some of the stuff they do in order to create a kind of shared leadership. That's really the goal, is to create that kind of shared leadership where you and your people, you and your team are creating tomorrow's business together.
Is there some chicken and egg here? I can imagine people saying, well, when I get the business, then I can afford to employ people. But is it that you need to employ them to get the business?
I draw a little picture of a step change, and it's the idea that typically you would invest in resources when you have the revenue, and you just keep doing that as the revenue grows. Actually, in many cases, the reality is that you have to invest in the resources in order to get the revenue to grow. Yeah. And that necessarily involves investment. But that's business. What we don't kind of talk about very much as business owners is risk, upside and downside. If you don't take risk, you will not get return, you will not get reward. And the risk you have to take in business is being prepared to invest in resources and in capability in order to drive the business. If you don't, the business stagnates. It's safe, in a sense, kinda, it's safe if it's just you, or if it's just you and a few people, and you kind of, it's not going to go wrong. But the trade-off is you don't get to grow. And with growth comes that stability and security. It's actually more risk to stay small.
Yeah. So how can you make the leap if you are a little bit risk averse?
Well, I think the chicken and egg thing just, it's inevitably the just do it piece.
Yeah.
So you've got to have the aspiration. And I suppose where we help people is helping them get clear about what it is they really want. Because there are people who just, you're too risk averse to take this on.
Yeah.
Don't bother. Or you want control too much. You don't know how to move away from kind of doing it yourself in order to have control. So don't bother. You're really hopeless with people, so don't bother. If
You're not talking to me, are you?
No, you, generically.
Oh, you.
Universally.
You.
Universally.
You.
Putting the you in universal. Yeah, so, there's a bunch of those kinds of things that you've got to have. But in the end, you've got to be willing to do it. I think it's great to have a guide, and that's what we do. We provide, basically a kind of a pilot for you in terms of how to take the business forward. There's only, there are some simple rules about business, and they apply to all the businesses.
Yeah.
If they don't apply to you, you probably haven't got a business.
So give us, in summary, your simplest tip that we can start doing straight away.
Get rid of your D-class clients today.
Oh, I like that.
Just
I was going
do
to
it.
end on that, but I want to hear more. Get rid of your D-class clients.
Yeah, D-class clients. So these are the people that they either pay low, or they pay slow, or they give you a lot of grief.
Yeah.
They're difficult to deal with. They're just, their phone, their ID comes up on the phone, and your staff go, oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. Actually, I call it the sphincter clients, because they're the ones that when you see their ID, you sort of go, and there's a sort of puckering effect.
Okay, so get rid of those.
Yeah, get rid of those.
Evacuate those.
if you will, yeah. A lot of people say, well, look, you never know. Some of those Ds might actually turn into As.
Yeah.
And I say to people, look, you have to understand that statistically is very, very unlikely. Your D-class customers are not A-class in drag. Yeah. They are just D-class.
Yeah.
Get rid of them, because the D stands for desperate.
Okay,
and it's your
brilliant.
desperate.
I love that. Thank you for that last final tip. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks.
Jessie, I'm so excited that you're back with us again.
Great to be here.
Now, tell us, who is recording in the studio right now?
We have a singer-songwriter named Jasper Hawkins, originally from Nelson. He's now relocated to Auckland, and he is with his sister Jane singing backing vocals and Christian on guitar.
Nice. Well, let's hear from them.
Let's do it.
Above. And I had my doubts as many men, but you came and took hold of my hand. I can say that I knew the storm would come, but it passed me by, outshone the sun. It's a beautiful thing that we're friends. Expect now that we're lovers. Take my hand, leave the others, for our paths have crossed in the most beautiful way. Linger in my exists this pretty girl who's so kind. And you pick me up from a lonely alleyway where I can neither live nor stay. There's still some gods and song in these wounds. Time has a way, we'll heal these soon. And it's a beautiful thing that we're friends. Expecting now that we're lovers. Take my hand, leave the others, for our paths have crossed in the most beautiful way. Most beautiful way. And it's a beautiful thing that we're friends, expecting now that we're lovers. Take my hand, leave the others, for our paths have crossed in the most beautiful way. In the most beautiful
That was just awesome. I loved it. It's so beautiful. It just sounds like summer to me.
You're very welcome.
And hey, that finger picking style,
Yeah.
that style of playing the guitar, that looks like that takes a lot of work.
Well, yeah, I've definitely played guitar for quite some time now. It's probably, I don't know, 13, 14 years. And it was actually interesting because I used to play a lot of strumming, and I was actually in a punk band back at high school.
Punk?
And then, yeah, then I ended up getting one of these, a guitar, when I went to uni. I wanted something I could sing with, and just sitting an electric guitar by yourself's not that fun. And because I already play guitar, I wanted something a little more, interesting. So I started getting into Lindsey Buckingham type music, the Fleetwood Mac, Never Going Back Again.
And this is a beautiful guitar you have here.
Yeah, this is so this guitar is called Stevie. Right? It's,
they have to have a name, don't they?
They do, yeah, and she's beautiful.
She
and
is.
I made it on a course in Wellington. There's a guy called Paddy Bergen.
You made your guitar?
Yeah. But I did it on a course. There's a guy, Paddy Bergen, he's a luthier down in Wellington, and he runs a 3-week course every 2 years. Yeah. So it's a 3-week, it's quite intensive, 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, and we just, but it's built from scratch, like they're not kits.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, based on a Martin construction, and Martin are just well-known acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah.
And do you all play together regularly, or how does it all hang together?
Well, I wouldn't say regularly. So Christian here, he produces all the music for me. So he's just a man of many talents, plays and produces it. And then Jane is my sister, and I just love singing with her. In fact, I love her. So I gotta get her.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, gotta get her involved. But that song, I wrote that most beautiful way, and it just made sense to get her on as the backing vocals, because I love the way our sort of voices work together. We just seem to be in tune.
Well, it sounds amazing. So thank you so much for sharing that with us today. Thank you.
Come on.
Thanks. My thanks to all my special guests, to Greg, to Thelma, to Mike, to Jessie Wild, and to Jasper. And until next week, don't wait to wake up your wow. You're rushing me.
Diva.
I really want to be a diva. Not very good at it.